Hey everybody, it's Dr. V back again with a Healing Your Inner Child reading for the Divine Feminine. So I cleansed the cards and I'm going to shuffle a few more times, even though I shuffled before. Excuse me, turn on the camera because I know I like to see the shuffling process as it happens. That was a terrible shuffle. Let me try again. These cards are really stiff, so they're a little bit hard to bend. But such is life. One more, and then I'm going to cut and get started. Okay, let's jump right in. So, for the Divine Feminine, how her inner child feels currently. It's an interesting card, obviously, because we're talking about a child. And so, child and romance, right? That feels like, how is that even aligned? But what I'm getting from this, the energy that I'm getting from this, is that it's the inner child actually feels that she had a lack of seeing that. So she didn't see in her early years modeling of romance. Like she was modeled by her, the adults in her life really modeled dysfunctional relationships. So the inner child is like, I don't even know what romance looks like. I don't even know what love looks like because I never really experienced it. And so that's what she's experiencing right now. How she feels like this lack of even knowing what romance and love is supposed to look like in the physical because she never experienced it. So that's the first card. It's interesting because I don't think, I think a lot of us experienced that actually growing up in households that many of us grew up in, this, not recognizing, not knowing because what was modeled to us was so dysfunctional. And as some of you may or may not know, we actually tend to model our relationships after the ones, unconsciously, of course, after the ones that we were exposed to growing up. It's the way that our brains work. It's the way that it's what we learn, and it becomes normal. So even if it's unhealthy or pathological, we still model it because that's what we're exposed to. So what the Divine Feminine lacked as a child? Freedom. I read this as freedom to be herself, freedom to express herself, freedom to, and I mean just freedom. Like she was just in a little, I actually just had this visual of like inner child kind of like hiding in a, like Harry Potter in that little, space under the stairs. Like she just didn't have freedom emotionally, mentally, spiritually. She just wasn't free. She wasn't allowed to be who she really is. She was kind of put under a bushel. She was hidden. She wasn't free. She didn't have the ability to be herself, to anything. So God, what a sad thing to feel completely absent or what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, she just didn't have any freedom. So, yeah, that's really sad. And how that, something that left her inner child scarred. Enchantment. This actually did come up last week. I remember it completely. And when I read this, I read this as her experiencing something that took her innocence away. So abuse, something happened that really took her sense of the world being a magical, safe place away from her. And I really read that as, some kind of, like a trauma, some kind of traumatic experience that where she suddenly became like, I see the world in a different way. I don't see the world through the eyes of innocence anymore. I see the world, people are not safe or the world isn't safe. So there was something that she experienced that really took her sense of enchantment away. I'm going to scooch these over so you can see them all. And how that is affecting her life now. Interesting. is forgiveness. So there's some things that she needs to forgive in order to move forward. So when you have I do actually workshops on this because forgiveness is such a big thing. And I am not in any way, shape, or form talking about the like spiritual bypassing brand of forgiveness where somebody hurts you and you're like, oh, but I forgive them 5 minutes later. That's ridiculous. That's not even healthy. Forgiveness is about going through the pain and letting yourself experience the sadness and understanding what it cost you for this experience that happened, what it took from you, that it took your sense of enchantment, that it took your sense of innocence, that you didn't see the world in the way that you saw it before, that it really caused you a lot of harm, and that harm it still is continuing today. But forgiveness is about so I guess the saying is like forgiveness is letting somebody else out of prison and finding out the prisoner was you. So it's not about, you don't have to have a relationship with the person or people that hurt you. You don't have to let them off the hook necessarily. It's just about like kind of releasing it into God's hands and being like, okay, this is between them and God now. You release your desire to want to see them pay or to want to see them hurt or to to see karma pay them back. You release all of that and you just let it go and forgive, not for their sake but for your sake, because forgiveness really is it really blocks our blessings. It really keeps us blocked emotionally, mentally, sometimes physically. It's really important to work through that and let that go so that you can free yourself and be able to live the life that you want and that you deserve, absent of the pain and the hurt from the past. So, what is something that the Divine Feminine can do to heal her inner child? Intention. It's a beautiful card. Set your intention to forgive, to heal, to move on, and then work on it. Forgiveness affirmations. Make your list of people, circumstances that you need to forgive, and then for as long as it takes, excuse me while I sip my tea, go through and say your forgiveness affirmations to let them go. Set your intention to be free from the past. Set your intention to heal and move on from the past so that you can live the life that you're meant to live, that you've always been meant to live, and set your intention to vibe at a higher level consistently and to move on. That's your work right now. That's how you can heal and move forward. So how can you support your inner child? Manifestation. That goes along with the intention. Because the inner child lost that sense of enchantment and that sense of the world being magical, and the sense that the inner child was safe, how you can help heal is to intentionally co-create your own manifestations. So as you do that, you're going to help to restore that sense of magic back to your inner child. So I'm thinking about, when you first start manifesting and you do things like manifest a parking spot, and that sense of excitement that you feel when you're like, oh my gosh, I totally worked. And you feel, again, like the world might just be a magical place. That's what this is about. Setting your intentions and starting to allow yourself to manifest the things that you truly desire in this life so that you can heal the inner child and move forward. Okay. And what is the message from your inner child? What is a message from the inner child for the Divine Feminine? New love. It's funny because this came up in the masculine's inner child. So the synchronicities and mirroring are very in alignment. Remember, what she lacks currently was that romance card that she's never seen that, never seen what it looks like to have a healthy romance. And so what your inner child is saying is that you can help heal that by allowing yourself to embrace this new love that wants to come into your life or that is in your life. but embrace it, really work to release the old patterns and the old ways of being and allow yourself to be in this new love. You deserve it. And as you create and co-create and continue with your divine counterpart to rise above the old bullshit, it will heal her, because she'll understand what real love is supposed to look like, what true love looks like, what unconditional love looks like. So that will be very healing and restorative for your inner child. So it's a beautiful spread. I don't feel like there's a lot of there's a lot of forward motion happening right now. I think it's probably associated to the moon energies and what's been going on with that. It's been an intense time in the moon, solar and lunar worlds, and so it's definitely having an effect on us as individuals. But I really feel like there's a lot of forward motion, and I feel like the universe is really stepping in to support people in their healing journeys. So if you take the steps that you need to move forward, that you'll start to see manifestations happening really quickly and things resolving really quickly. So that's just an extra thing that just came through that I wanted to share with you. But I hope this reading resonates, and I hope that you're having a great week, or that you have a great week. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments, okay? Thanks. Bye. See you soon.